Eric White Business Fundamental. Eric White has a small business. In the evening and at weekends, he sells personalized USB flash drives on his website. Each flash drive costs Eric $12, so his gross profit per piece is $12. Not bad, you say. The gross margin on each flash drive is 50%. If Eric sells 1,000 per year, he can make $1,000 per month. But wait, Eric also has to pay for his service, his website, and his account. And don't forget his electricity, telephone, and advertising bills. There are fixed costs, or overheads, a total of about $500 a month. If he sells 100 flash drives, or none at all, Eric still pays $500 every month. At present, Eric sells 500 flash drives per year, so his turnover is $12,000. Eric's variable costs, or cost of goods sold, COGS, are $12 per piece. That's $6,000 for 500 pieces. So, turnover minus COGS minus fixed cost equals $0. Sales of 500 pieces are just enough to reach break-even point. Fortunately, Eric also has a day job, but if his sales are under 500, he will make a loss. On the other hand, if they are over 500, he will make a profit, but then will start paying tax. Chinese internships impress employers. What is the most important information in your CV? Your school or university? Your degree subject? Your grades? The answer is none of these. According to the Confederation of British Industry, 80% of employers first look at the experience and skills you acquire on an internship. Work experience is now an essential part of university education. But competition for places in Europe and the US is fierce, so more and more students are doing their internships in China. As the second biggest economy in the world, China has lots of opportunities for interns to acquire experience. It also offers the chance to learn a new language and to demonstrate the ability to live and work in a different culture. It was very difficult to find an internship in the UK, says Sean Duggan, a graduate in business studies, so I decided to go to Shanghai. It was the best decision of my life. After a year in China, I'm more independent, more confident, and better at working with people who are different from me. When I came back to London, I had 3 interviews. In each one, we talked about my experiences in China for most of the time, and all 3 companies offered me a job. So how difficult is it to live and work in China? Julia Barton works for an agency that sends students to work in multinational firms in Beijing. There are 4 essential skills for working across cultures. First of all, you need intercultural sensitivity. That is to say, the ability to see things in different ways and to understand how your own cultural values are different from other people's. A second important skill is managing uncertainty. Barton gives the classic example of attitudes to time. Americans and the British always want quick decisions, but Asians generally prefer to take more time rather than make the wrong decision. Multicultural teams need to be patient and live uncertainty. Thirdly, successful interns adjust their communication to the local style. Chinese organizations are hierarchical, says Duggan. Everyone respects the boss. You need to think carefully before you speak and to be diplomatic. The fourth skill that impresses employers is the ability to build relationships between people from different cultures. Sandra Kay describes her experience in Beijing. In China, team spirit is very important. We always had lunch together, and we often went out together after work. Now I work in an international team in Paris, and I encourage everyone to do things together. My manager is impressed because the working environment is friendly and productive.
How to keep your customers happy. How do you keep customers happy? Today, an excellent product is not enough. Customers also want first-class support, warranties, free delivery and installation, hotlines, newsletters, and upgrades. But all these services are expensive. So why do we put so much time and money into customer support? Give customers what they want, when they want it. The simple answer is it's less expensive than finding new customers. A typical company needs to contact 1,000 leads to find just 5 new customers. That's a big investment in sales and marketing. So if you can keep existing customers happy and get repeat business, you actually save money. How do you do it? Firstly, listen carefully to what your customers tell you about your company and your product. Listen to what they tell their friends, too, on social media services like Twitter and Facebook. Secondly, your marketing, sales, support, order processing, and accounts departments already know a lot about your customers. Put all that valuable information in one place and share it. Use CRM, Customer Relationship Management software, for example. In this way, everybody in the organization knows exactly who their customers are, what they need now, and what they would like in the future. But customer support is only part of the story. Every year, business spend millions on customer service training. On every course, staff learn the 10 golden rules of customer service. But there is really only one rule you need to know, and it's very simple. Be like your customer. So, how can you be like your customer? Here are 4 examples. Talk to customers when they went to talk. Be there to answer questions easily and quickly. In store, by phone, by email, by text message, whatever your customers like best. Give customers what they want when they want it. The right product, in the right place, at the right time, and of course, at the right price. Make the customer's priority your priority, especially when there's a problem. Show customers that you feel like they feel, especially about problems. If they are disappointed or angry, show the same level of emotion in your determination to solve the problem. Talk like your customers. If they talk quickly or in short sentences, do the same. If they talk slowly, with pauses for reflection, you talk slowly too, and give them time to think. There are many ways to be like your customer, but perhaps you're asking why. Well, we all like people who are like us, so naturally, we all prefer to buy from someone we like. Simple, isn't it?
How to talk to customers by telephone. 1. Prepare. Think about what you want to say before you dial a number. Make a checklist of the important points you want to cover with the customer. 2. Be friendly to the person who can connect you. They could be your next customer. If they put you on hold, keep smiling while you wait so that you are ready when you get through to the customer. 3. Greet the customer is out of the office or on voicemail. Always leave a message. Say your name clearly. Names can be difficult in another language. And give the reason you are calling. Offer to call back later or invite the customer to return your call. 4. Speak clearly, listen carefully, and don't interrupt. Use different words to show you understand your customer's needs. Be positive and avoid negative expressions like, "it isn't possible," or "I don't know." If you don't have the information your customer needs, promise to get back to them and give a specific time. 5. Before you say goodbye and hang up, tell them the next step. Thank your customer and make sure they feel special. Customer satisfaction. On the road again. A concept tour, a multi-nation business with hundreds of employees and millions of customers. U2's 2009-2011 tour, for example, sold more than 7 million tickets at over 100 venues around the world. It had gross revenues of more than $700 million. Traveling around the world playing rock music sounds glamorous and exciting, but the reality of life on the road is very different. The musicians and technicians, or roaders, are away from home for weeks or months at a time. They work long nights and spend most days traveling as buses from one hotel to the next. There is constant pressure and stress. Few roadies are over 35, and most are single or divorced.
Most rock groups built up after only a few years on the road. But perhaps the hardest job is the tour managers. A tour manager needs to meet every deadline and keep everybody happy: fans, artists, roadies, and, of course, the record company. In business, it's important to keep a high level of pleasure that people get when they buy things from you. How do you do this? First, make sure that when you send a product by air, sea, or road, the customer received it by the agreed time, that the good arrive at a place. Second, take the right action when the customers say there is a problem. So, if somebody calls to complain about something that is not working or is broken, make sure you say sorry first and then offer to change the product for a new one or give them their money back. Third, make sure you have a helpline to give help with complicated things like computers if customers have any problems. When you speak to customers on the phone, try to make a good impression. First, think about what you want to say before you press the buttons on your phone. Then, greet the customer and be friendly. If the customer needs information that you don't have, promise to call them again later. Before you finish talking to them, review the main points and say what the next step is. Of course, sometimes you don't reach the person you want to speak to and go straight to voicemail. In this case, leave a message and say you will call back later, or invite them to phone you back.
Supply chain software rescues toy factory. Jake Lassiter is the CEO and supply chain manager at Lassiter Ltd., a family business that manufactures plastic toys. To make and deliver toys to children, Lassiter needs the help to many different partners. First of all, Jake buys pellets, small balls of plastic, from Polyplasto Inc., a multinational that produces plastics from oil. Then he buys boxes and packaging for the toys from Packabox Ltd. The plastic pellets and the packaging are delivered by Big Truck Ltd., a logistics provider. In the factory, the pellets are used to make plastic parts for toys in special machines that Jake buys from IPM, International Plastics Machines, plc. The toy parts are assembled and packaged in the Lassiter's factory. After that, Small Truck Ltd., another logistics company, ships them to toy shops. Finally, the toys are sold to customers and given to children, the end users. A supply chain needs careful management. When the factory needs more plastic, Jake calls Polyplasto to place an order. Polyplasto prepares the pellets and Big Truck delivers them. From time to time, Jake calls the toy shops. If they need more toys, Jake asks Luke, who is head of packaging, to ship some more. Every Friday, Small Truck delivers the toys to the toy shops. Everything seems efficient and everybody is happy. Or not. In fact, Lassiter is in serious trouble because the supply chain is not efficient. Information is not communicated from one partner to another. It's Friday, and the toy shops are out of stock. When Jake calls packaging to ask them to ship more toys, Luke is very unhappy. He has 400,000 boxes just delivered by Big Truck, but no storage space, and there are no toys to put in all these boxes. Luke complains. Brendan, the production manager, can't make any because there is no more plastic. Jake calls Polyplasto. They have pellets in stock, but Big Truck can't deliver them because all their trucks are busy. A small truck is waiting outside Lassiter's factory, but there is no toy ready for delivery. Finally, the bank manager is on the phone. There's no cash to pay the salaries. This is because suppliers are paid on delivery, but customers pay weeks or months later. Fortunately, there is a happy ending when Jake installs new supply chain management system. Using automated systems, all the key business processes are integrated into a single system. Now Jake can plan all Lassiter's needs for materials, services, storage space, labor, credit, and cash. Soon, everything is more efficient and everyone, suppliers, manufacturer, customer, and bank manager, is happy again. How does a factory work? In1 Ltd manufactures golf balls in its South Wales factory. The main raw materials for making golf balls are rubber and plastic. The factory's buyers purchase the raw materials from specialist suppliers. The materials are delivered and checked for quality. They are then stored near the production area. Stock is managed carefully so that the factory can never run out of materials. In the workshop, robots assemble the rubber balls and plastic covers and paint them different colors. Labor is expensive, so there are more machines than workers. The golf balls are inspected, and some of them are tested using special equipment. After that, the finished goods are packaged. They are stocked in the forwarder's warehouse, not on the factory site. Every year, In1 ships several million golf balls to retailers, where customers, some of the world's 60 million golfers, can buy them.
How I got my dream job. For some people, family connections can help them get their dream job, like Stella McCartney or Ivanka Trump. Others, like Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, create their own dream. But some people just get lucky. And I guess I'm one of those. My name is Lenny, I'm 28, and this is how I got my dream job with Google. I was working in an insurance company in Brussels when I read about a virtual job fair, a website where candidates can meet recruiters online. I was bored with my job, so I logged in and looked around jobs with banks, insurance company, and then Google. Working for an internet company was my dream. So I opened a chat window and talked to someone called Julie from Human Resources. The opportunity that really got my attention was in New York. It was exactly what I was looking for. I think I made a good impression because Julie asked for my CV. She told me to wait for someone from New York called Annie to contact me. Well, I didn't want to wait for a call. I did some research and found Annie's full name in an article and said I was looking forward to talking to her. Some people say I took a risk, but I think it's important to get the employer's attention. I was delighted when Annie replied. She sent me some details about the job and some questions to answer. I took a few days to think, then wrote a very careful reply. I wanted to impress Annie and show that I was passionate about the job. She seemed satisfied. A week later, we had 2 phone interviews. They went well. Annie asked me to attend an interview in Dublin, so I was confident that my name was on the shortlist. The final interviews were at Google headquarters in Mountain View, California. I had 6 interviews, some with one interviewer and others with 4 or 5 people. I also played volleyball and swam in the pool. Google believe in a creative approach to work, play, and life. That evening, I was exhausted, but happy. I was 99% sure that the job was mine. I didn't wait long for an answer. As soon as I got back to Brussels, they offered me the job. It was difficult to leave my family and friends, but the idea of living in New York was incredibly exciting. I didn't hesitate. After all, it was my dream job. Some people just get lucky, and I guess I'm one of these.
How to find the right job. At the beginning of your career, the most important thing is to find a job, any job, where you can gain experience and develop your skills. Now, many entry-level jobs are really interesting, but they all allow you to take the first step on your career path to promotion and management positions. Don't just send your CV to every company in your region. Read the job ads in newspapers, magazines, and online. Visit job fairs to see what sort of jobs employers are offering and what kind of people they are looking to hire. And tell everyone you know that you're looking for work. A personal recommendation can really help. An interview is the opportunity for the company to get to know you and for you to make a good impression. Always dress smartly when you attend an interview. Almost every interviewer will ask about your strengths and weaknesses, so be prepared to talk about what you're good at and what you can improve. Prepare some questions, too. The employer interviewing you, but you are also interviewing the company.